just, and enlightened world. So education then is liberation, a passage from illusion to truth, from darkness to light, and from mere opinion to genuine understanding. The philosopher's duty is to undertake this ascent and apply their wisdom for the betterment of humanity. So this is the view of Plato. So, and then now the metaphysics of the Bhagavad Gita. So it is the cornerstone of Hindu philosophy, shaping the spiritual and intellectual thought for centuries. As part of the Mahabharata, it unfolds on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Arjuna, a Pandava prince, faces an ethical and existential crisis, torn between his duty and his emotional ties. He questions the nature of justice, morality, and the purpose of life. So in response, Lord Krishna, his divine charioteer and guide, reveals profound metaphysical teachings and transcend the battlefield. These teachings explore the nature of the self, the illusory nature of the material world, and the ultimate reality. So the Gita asserts that ignorance obscures the self's true eternal nature, which is beyond birth and death. So the path to liberation presented by Krishna. So to dispel this ignorance, Krishna introduces three paths to liberation, each suited to different spiritual inclinations. So first, Karma Yoga, the path of selfless action, emphasizing duty without attachment to results. Then we have Bhakti Yoga, so the path of devotion and surrender to the divine. And the last one, Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge and direct realization of the ultimate reality. So while distinct, these paths complement each other, guiding Arjuna toward the highest truth. So the Bhagavad Gita thus offers a synthesis of metaphysical, ethical, and devotional perspectives, addressing both individual and universal dilemmas. So illusion and reality, then we have the problem of ignorance. So a central theme of the Gita is the contrast between illusion and reality. So this theme finds a parallel in Plato's allegory of the cave, where prisoners mistake shadows on a cave wall for reality. So just as the prisoners remain unaware of the true forms outside the cave, Arjuna is blinded by his emotional turmoil, unable to perceive the higher truth Krishna reveals. So Plato's allegory portrays ignorance as a form of confinement, both physical and intellectual, while the Gita highlights emotional and moral struggles as obstacles to truth. Arjuna's crisis is not merely intellectual, but existential, as he struggles with duty, loss, and the impermanence of life. So Arjuna voices his despair. Oh, Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? So what pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So, like Plato's prisoners, Arjuna perceives only a distorted reality. So his illusion stems from emotional attachment and fear, which obscure his understanding of his true self and duty. Both the Bhagavad Gita and Plato's allegory emphasize the necessity of a transcending illusion, whether intellectual, emotional, or existential, to attain enlightenment and true knowledge, the path to knowledge. So each text presents a journey of transformation that requires a struggle, perseverance, and fundamental shift in perception. So in the Republic, Plato illustrates the painful process of enlightenment through the imagery of a prisoner being freed from a cave, while in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna compels Arjuna to rise above his doubts and embrace his Dharma. So this study explores the parallels between these narratives, emphasizing the challenges of attaining true knowledge. So the struggle for enlightenment. Plato describes the prisoner's initial experience of being freed from the cave like this. When one was freed from his fetters and compelled to stand up suddenly, his eyes would hurt, and he would struggle to see the objects whose shadows he had previously observed. Similarly, Krishna urges Arjuna to overcome his hesitation. So, O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise. So, in both cases, the transition is higher understanding is marked by discomfort. The freed prisoner initially clings to these familiar shadows, but as Arjuna resists Krishna's guidance, however, through perseverance, both figures attain deeper insight. So, the role of an external guide. Neither the prisoner nor Arjuna initiates the transformation alone, and this is very important. So, in the Republic, the identity of the liberator remains ambiguous, while in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna directly commands Arjuna to rise. In both cases, enlightenment requires an external force to challenge and guide the seeker through the discomfort of change. Plato describes the prisoner's progressive understanding. At first, he would most easily see shadows, then reflections in water, and later the objects themselves. Finally, he would gaze upon the sun, perceiving it as the source of light. Similarly, Krishna expands Arjuna's vision beyond the material world. A person is said to be established in self-realization and is called a yogi when he is fully satisfied by virtue or acquired knowledge and realization. Such a person is situated in transcendence and is self-controlled. He sees everything, whether it be pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. So, here, both narratives highlight the necessity of shifting from illusion to truth, whether by perceiving the sun as the ultimate reality in Plato's allegory or by understanding the eternal nature of the soul in the Gita. So, overcoming attachment, both texts emphasize the difficulty of transcending illusion. In Plato's allegory, the freed prisoner struggles to accept that the shadows he once believed to be real are mere illusions. Likewise, Arjuna must move beyond his emotional attachments and see beyond the fleeting nature and worldly concerns. So, Krishna instructs Arjuna, be steadfast in yoga, O Arjuna, perform your duty and abandon all attachments to success or failure. Such evenness of mind is called yoga. So this principle of karma yoga, acting without attachment, mirrors the philosopher's pursuit of truth for its own sake rather than personal gain. This is one aspect. So now, comparative perspectives. From a Platonic perspective, the Bhagavad Gita aligns with the soul's ascent toward truth. The freed prisoner resists enlightenment at first, just as Arjuna hesitates to accept his Dharma. Ultimately, both must confront uncomfortable truths before attaining wisdom. So conversely, from the Bhagavad Gita's viewpoint, Plato's allegory serves as an analogy for detachment from material illusions. The prisoner's escape represents the struggle to move beyond worldly dualities, pleasure and pain, success and failure. Just as Arjuna must transcend attachment and acting according to Dharma. Both texts portray the pursuit of knowledge as a life-changing journey. Whether through Plato's imagery of the cave or Krishna's teachings on selfless actions, enlightenment demands courage, resilience, and a willingness to see beyond illusions. The challenge of confronting reality, whether in philosophy or in spiritual practice, is essential to achieving higher understanding. Now, reflections in reality. So, in Plato's philosophy, Socrates explains that everything in the material world is akin to reflections in water or shadows projected on a wall. This notion aligns perfectly with a passage from the Bhagavad Gita. It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. So Prabhupada describes the material world as a distorted reflection of the spiritual world, a theme echoed in the Gita and Plato's allegory of the cave. So similarly, in Gita philosophy, the material world, Prakriti, so is seen as a temporary illusion that conceals the true spiritual reality. Just as shadows misrepresent the true form of objects, the material world serves as an imperfect reflection of the spiritual existence. This parallel highlights a shared metaphysical framework in both thoughts, emphasizing the need for transcending illusion to attain ultimate knowledge. Then, ultimate reality, the sun and Krishna. Both Plato's philosophy and the Bhagavad Gita converge on a vision of ultimate reality that transcends the material world. While Plato symbolized this reality with the sun, representing the form of the good, the Bhagavad Gita presents Krishna as the ultimate cause and sustainer of the universe. So the sun and the form of the good in Plato's philosophy. In Plato's metaphysical system, the sun represents the form of the good, the highest principle that grants meaning, existence, and intelligibility to all things. Without the sun, nothing could be known or truly exist, as it is the unifying cause of knowledge and perception. In the Republic, Plato describes the philosopher's ascent toward enlightenment like this. Finally, he would look upon the sun itself and see its true nature, realizing it is the cause of all that is seen. The sun, therefore, symbolizes truth, knowledge, and the highest good, guiding the soul's journey beyond the shadows of material world. So Krishna as the supreme reality in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the Gita, Krishna embodies the ultimate reality, the source of all creation and order. So when Arjuna is granted a vision of Krishna's universal form, he perceives a reality that transcends time and space. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. This vision mirrors Plato's concept of unity, where all existence emanates from a singular divine source. Krishna's form represents both immanence and transcendence, revealing that all things originate from and are sustained by the same ultimate reality. So, let's see the Platonic view of the Bhagavad Gita. So, a Platonic interpretation of the Gita would position Krishna as the form of the good, illuminating all reality and making knowledge possible. Just as the sun symbolizes the ultimate metaphysical principle in Plato's philosophy, Krishna's universal form demonstrates that all creation stems from one eternal source. Arjuna's vision aligns with Plato's idea that the physical world is a mere reflection of a higher truth. So, a Bhagavad Gita's view of Plato's allegory. So, the ascent from the cave can be seen as the soul's journey toward recognizing divine truth, much like Arjuna's spiritual realization. The painful adjustment to the light parallels Arjuna's struggle to transcend doubt and attachment. So both Plato and the Bhagavad Gita propose that ultimate reality is singular, eternal, and the source of all existence. The form of the good and Krishna's universal form both symbolize the highest knowledge and ultimate truth, guiding the soul's ascent toward enlightenment. Whether through the sun's illumination or the divine radiance of Krishna, the realization of unity and transcendence marks the path to spiritual liberation. Then we may have a few points. So, shadows and reflections, partial knowledge akin to theoretical learning. Objects themselves, the direct experience, and the sun as the source of light, seeing beyond the material world, reaching the unwavering state of true wisdom, where one perceives reality as it is. So now, a shared philosophia perennis. So the Gita, the idea of a universal philosophical tradition or philosophia perennis is central to the comparison between Plato's metaphysics and the Gita. So a key perspective in this discussion is Krause's concept of panentheism, a worldview in which the universe exists within God, while God transcends it. So, though relatively modern in Western thought, panentheism has deep roots in Vedic philosophy. This idea finds resonance in both the teachings of the Gita and Plato's works, as they affirm an ultimate reality that is simultaneously immanent and transcendent. So, parallel metaphysical visions. These striking parallels between these texts suggest a unified metaphysical vision that transcends cultural and historical limits in the pursuit of truth. Krause's panentheism provides a valuable framework to explore these similarities, emphasizing the absolute as both essence and manifestation, present in the world and beyond it. So both Plato and the Gita assert that the material world is a reflection of a higher, more profound reality. They encourage individuals to look beyond superficial appearances and engage in intellectual and spiritual efforts necessary for enlightenment. This shared vision provides enduring insights to humanity's search for knowledge and meaning. Despite differences in their methods and expressions, both texts present an understanding of truth as an ultimate reality beyond mere appearances. Plato's rational approach and the Gita's spiritual path highlight different but complementary means of seeking wisdom, whether through contemplation or devotion. The pursuit of truth demands courage, discipline, and a willingness to transcend illusion. In conclusion, the allegory of the cave and the Bhagavad Gita offer enduring perspectives on the nature of reality, the quest for knowledge and the search for meaning. The journey of ascension in Plato's cave resonates with Arjuna's spiritual evolution under Krishna's guidance. Both require determination, self-control, and a readiness to face challenges. Ultimately, these paths lead to the realization of a higher unifying force, the good, in Plato's philosophy, and the universal form of Krishna in the Gita. Now we may answer the questions we start with, right? What is real? Plato's allegory of the cave portrays the physical world as an illusion, a mere shadow of the true reality, the realm of forms. Only through reason can one access ultimate truth. Similarly, the Bhagavad Gita describes the material world as impermanent, with the true reality residing in the eternal self and its connection to the supreme reality. Both texts challenge the notion that sensory perception provides an accurate understanding of existence. So, how do we access truth? In the allegory of the cave, the freed prisoner's painful ascent symbolizes the intellectual and spiritual struggle required to grasp higher realities. Truth emerges through intellectual awakening and overcoming deeply held illusions. In the Bhagavad Gita, truth is attained through devotion, knowledge, and self-discipline. Arjuna's journey under Krishna's guidance teaches that wisdom comes from transcending dualities, pleasure, pain, success, and failure, through inner balance and spiritual dedication. And how should we live? So Plato advocates for a life of philosophical inquiry, with the philosopher king embodying the highest way of living, one led by wisdom. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes living according to Dharma, advocating selfless action without attachment to personal gain. Arjuna's moral dilemma reflects a universal human challenge: how to act in accordance with a greater cosmic order while navigating worldly responsibilities. And then, based on all that, we may face other aspects, more contemporary. So, allegory and misinformation. The allegory highlights how people can be trapped in false beliefs, much like modern societies struggle with misinformation, where individuals only see distorted truths. Education as liberation. Education illuminates the mind, enabling individuals to break free from ignorance, aligning with Plato's idea of attaining true knowledge and enlightenment. Responsibility to help others. Yes, as Plato suggests, those who attain enlightenment have an ethical duty to guide others out of ignorance, even if it's challenging. Practical Gita applications. The Gita's teachings guide decisions in leadership, duty, and ethics, offering insights of balancing personal desires with a greater good in complex real-world scenarios. Both texts illuminate the path from ignorance to knowledge, urging us to seek the ultimate reality that unites all existence. In engaging with these philosophical paths, we recognize the enduring relevance of their insights, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of truth and the principles for a meaningful life. Thank you.